Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today with something that I have teasered in my last video a little bit, and that is I think somewhat of an awkward combination, but if you look at it, it makes a little bit more sense in total. So let's have a look at the Destiny hero, or it's mainly Trickstar Destiny hero, I guess. It's like a Destiny engine with a lot of Trickstars, but I guess Trickstar are just an engine too if you're actually talking about it. But starting out with the Destiny hero engine, it's a little bit messed up here. It should be more together, but you're on double malicious. You would probably run triple malicious if you could, I guess, but I think double is fine. Like, it totally doesn't hurt too much since you can use monsters from your hand as well. You only break if you draw both of them, which, I mean, I guess that counts for a lot of things. Another card that you do is one Celestial. You could use two, but one is fine because it's a draw engine for your next turn, mainly if you get rid of your hand cards, which is possible. Will not always happen actually, because you can have a lot of Trickstars in your hand, but it can always be actually quite neat. Draw Guy, or Draw Hand, how it's called in the TCG now, is a card that can set up for this whole draw and a lock reincarnation loop. It can give you another draw during your own turn. It can create some burn damage with the Licorice, for example, and so on. So this card actually can be quite neat. You run triple Destiny or Dynatag. You don't have to run triple, but I like him. First of all, he can go for the OTK if he's in your graveyard. He can do the last burn damage because you can basically negate battle damage and make both players lose 1,000 points, which is quite neat. Plus, he sets up an interruption with Dystopia, so I think this guy has quite a lot of uses. Only problem is he can clog up your hand sometimes, but I guess all Destiny heroes can if you don't have the fusion, so this is that kind of problem. And you run double Destiny draw. You don't run enough Destiny heroes to really max out on this card. This card comes into play with your Link monster and so on, that you can actually get Destiny heroes onto your hand and then like get rid of them, but it's not enough that you could not run like Allure of Darkness and Destiny draw to actually give the deck some draw engine, because you'll break quite a lot with it. And now to the Trickstar engine. You run triple Candina, you run double Licorice. You could run triple Licorice if you want to, but I felt like double was enough for me. You want run Lilybell. You could bump this card up to 2. It can be quite neat and helpful sometimes in finishing the game, but you know, if you're a better Trickstar player than me, you probably know what the ratio should be in your mind, and you can adjust according to this. And double Corobane. I was orientating myself a little bit at the last winner, like when you look at top decks. I think the last deck that top with Trickstars, they ran double Licorice and double Corobane, so I kind of looked at that a little bit for the ratios. I play tested this deck quite a lot. I feel like the ratios are somewhat fine. You obviously have the Fusion Destiny. With that, you can actually do quite a lot. First of all, you have your Dominate guy, which helps you get 3 cards into your graveyard, which gets you mainly into the Link monster because you'll set Malicious, so you have the Link monster if you want to. You can adjust either your deck if you really want to go into like Draw and Lock and like use the Draw Guys card with the Cross guy, for example, because you can summon out of the graveyard if you use them, because you already will know what card you will draw into. So if you see Lockbird and you're going for the Reincarnation Lock combo, you can make that happen quite easily. Other than that, you can shuffle your opponent's deck, so he can actually, like, if you know what he's playing, if you know what he doesn't want to draw into, you can make him break somewhat, I guess. This can be an option as well. So this is what this card basically does. It can give you a draw in the later stage of the game. Plus, if you revive him, like if you link him away with Malicious, revive him then again with Crossguide, then he won't get destroyed by the fusion at the end of the next turn. And if your opponent then has to get rid of him somehow in a way that they only have a way of triggering his effect, then you'll get your 3 Destiny Hero monsters from the graveyard, which can be quite nice. You could run one Disc Commander for that, but other than that, Disc Commander I feel like is quite a waste. You could swap him out for one Draw Guy and stuff, but it's not necessary to play him at this point. But you'd get more draws in and stuff, so that can be quite nice. Nice second target for the Destiny Fusion is Destiny or Dystopia. First of all, he does 1,600 burn damage in the best case, because, well, that synergizes some of Trickstars, I guess. And he can be bumped up to 3,800 attack points with Dynatag. Also get 1 disruption during the opponent's turn then, which is quite neat. And if we're talking about the last but not least, you're on triple Reincarnation for the lock. You're on double Trap Trick, which you don't have to. I feel like this can be a budget deck if you want it to be a budget deck. You just have to get rid of the Trap Trick and probably the artifact engine, which is with cards being around like Solemn Strike, Crackdown, and all those kind of things. Any floodgatey card you can put in there. Summon limit maybe, because you don't summon as much, so summon limit won't hurt you too much in your following turns, and all those kind of things. This is quite fine. This just helps you to get you into more reincarnations, but you could also play cards like Present Card if you really want to, because they're cheaper and they somewhat do the same thing, but not completely as good. Talking about the extra deck, there's not much to explain. You have access to like rank 4s, and I feel like those were the 3 that fit the deck style the most. You can obviously go for any other that you feel like. Borrow Load is, I guess it's given since it's like a little bit cheaper now as well. Fits well with the whole you want to play a budget deck kind of style. Foxy Witch, or Foxglove Witch, it's called now in the TCG, I guess. Can be neat. You basically don't really have 3 Trickstars on the board most of the time, but that could be your final board if your opponent has somewhat monsters again and you want to burn it for the last points. Can be quite neat. Holy Angel is the only one that actually does come up quite a lot with Crimson Heart, but I'm not sure if that's a Shonen Jump promo still. I think this card could be kind of pricey, so if you don't have access to that, don't run it, obviously. And Diviardi, if you really want those 200 to 400 damage, if you're missing something, or you really need those link arrows for something or whatever, then it can be quite neat, because if your opponent's normal special summons a monster, inflict 200 damage, he might be like not summoning then if he's already quite low on points and you have your field spell up, so they can be quite neat. Trickstar Bloom is a thing where you just can combo off a little bit, but let's be honest, it's not really that necessary. It just helps you if you have a reincarnation in your graveyard and you get your Licorice and Lilybell away, and then create like a field presence with this kind of stuff and so on. So this can be helpful, but mainly you don't want to. It's also just another way to trigger one of your Licorice, I guess, and like if you really want to push for game. But in the extra deck, there's a lot of space for actually going into some cool things rather than that. What I have to say is you could run stuff like Chaos Levianeer Dragon or the Black Luster Soldier, because you're playing a light darkness deck. So for Chaos support, there is room in it, but if you don't have the Destiny Fusion or the Destiny Draw in your hand, then you won't get the Darkness monster into your graveyard really. So this can conflict a little bit, and if you draw into this card first turn, then you might break a little bit. I tried this, for example, with cards like Mask Change, but you don't summon enough hero monsters for it to actually make sense, and you mainly break with it and don't know what to do with it. So I actually swapped it out for a more floodgatey version. This deck can actually be quite competitive with, I mean, I guess Scythe makes everything competitive these days, but in general, it's not too bad. I tested against like Mech Knight Invokes and like this new True Draco Metal Foes and all those kind of things, where it's like, you do have plays and you can beat them. It's not the super craziest deck, but I feel like Trickstars at the moment are quite strong anyway, so no matter what you splash in there, you'll always be somewhat successful with them, because it's just quite a weird playstyle and so on. I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. This is my thoughts on this kind of deck. Maybe I'll upload some replays, so stay tuned for that. Let me know if you want to see this. Let me know if you have any suggestions for this deck or any questions. And like, share, subscribe, do all that kind of shizzle that every other YouTuber tells you to, because they're probably right. And I hope you have a good day.